Welcome to Chef Debbie's Kitchen, where today we're going to make a family meal favorite of ours called 5-layer dinner. And it really is very simple to put together. There's a lot of prep work, but once you've got that prep work done, it's so worth it. The taste is a little bit of Italian, a little Mediterranean with the nutmeg and oregano. I've got lots of stuff laid out here, but I'm telling you, we're going to go through it simply. What I have here is some bacon that I have pre-cooked in my skillet here. I cooked it, cooled it, and I cut it into pieces. And now to the skillet, which is already hot, I'm going to add a 1.5 pounds of my ground meat. Now, you can make any ground meat. This dinner, you could put turkey if you want to use ground turkey. I chose to make the recipe exactly the way I had it when I was growing up. And when I was early married, my husband loved this. This is one of his favorite. And you think, what's so different about it? Well, I'm going to put it up just a wee bit because we want this to get nice and hot, because I'm going to also add my onion. I've got maybe 1 large onion here in my bowl. We're going to add that along with the ground meat cooking here together. So this is a very easy and flavorful dish. The bacon gives it that little extra flavor. I did use a low-fat, low-sodium bacon because I want to make it a little more healthy for us. If you choose to use turkey bacon, go ahead. A lot of people really enjoy the flavor of turkey bacon. You can do ground turkey and you can use turkey bacon if you feel better. So we're just going to let all this come up to speed again. My skillet cooled down quite a bit from the meat, even though I had it up there a little bit. It's kind of hard on an electric stove. So just kind of work with it. You're not going to ruin anything. We'll come back over here because the beef, that's going to be layer number 1. And we're going to try and fit everything into my 2-quart casserole here. The second layer we're going to do is these potatoes here. And as you can see, what I did, and I've done this also in another recipe of mine, I boiled these potatoes the night before. And then put them in, cool them down really quickly, put them in your fridge, and then today I took the skins off and I just sliced them by hand into nice slices, because that, along with some nutmeg, is going to be our second layer. The third layer we're going to have would be corn, and with the corn we're just going to put a little bit of butter. Butter always goes good with corn, so we've got a little butter to add to that layer. And then the last layer is, I like the string cut French style green beans, and I get them frozen. And you know what? You really need to, yes, cook these ahead. When I opened the bag and I ate one, it had too hard of a crunch because they're probably just blanched. I mean, they are just blanched. So you want to steam your vegetables, your green beans. Strain them, put them in your bowl, let them cool off. So you can do a lot of this even the night before. And just we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to that layer. And then our final layer is going to be these nicely sliced tomatoes with a little bit of salt and pepper. And then on the tomato layer, we are going to add some, Pecorino Romano and oregano. I've got a whole tablespoon of oregano and at least good 2 tablespoons of my Pecorino Romano. So those are going to be for the top layer in our 5-layer dinner. And then the spices that we're going to add to our ground beef mixture as soon as it's done cooking is going to be some chili powder and good old salt and pepper along with the bacon. But we want to make this nicely browned. You can hear it now sizzling away. And we're going to just let this cook for, try to keep it all in the pan, for a few minutes. Maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes. There's no magical time, just enough to get the red, the pink out of your meat, which you can see is nicely happening. See that? And the onions, they're starting to wilt and get translucent. I think I'm going to need my little pot holder. Cast iron, remember, gets hot. And I dumped the bacon in here. And it's got that nice extra smell of the bacon along with the ground beef. It is wonderful. And I've already preheated my oven to 375 degrees because after we're done layering it, we're going to cover it and stick it right in the oven. There, that's all nicely brown. Now I'm just going to throw in that bacon that I had already cooked in this skillet. I've got some salt and pepper. And then I also have a teaspoon of our chili powder. Oh, now that's got a nice smell. There. And we can turn the heat off because that is it. Need my other pot holder. So that is the beginning of our 5-layer dinner, the first of 5. And we're going to just stick it all in there. Now that is 1.25 pounds. There, we'll just press that in there. Okay. Put it on here. And we don't have to, we already added the salt and things, and so now we're going to just begin to layer all of the next 4 layers, potato being our second one. And what I did is, you know, I had some russet potatoes. So I didn't even go out and buy any more. If you'd like to have the red potatoes or the Yukon Gold, just whatever potato you have or you desire, just go out and get it. It'll taste as good as the vegetable is. Ooh, look at that. I used 2, this is just about 2 nice size russet potatoes. And you know what? I'm going to squeak these little guys in here. Anyway, just layer it there, kind of push it down. Okay, and then I'm going to add to my potatoes, we're going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Just sprinkle on as much as you like. And then the secret ingredient is my nutmeg. If you've got a nutmeg fresh, which this is a little grinder my mother bought me ages ago. I love it. Just kind of go, oh, that smell. And when this all cooks together, you're going to go, what is that smell? Well, nobody but the chef really knows, but it is the nutmeg. Okay, so our next layer is really so easy. Look at that. Just put corn. I just use canned corn, guys, and I just drained it. That's it. Really, really difficult, isn't it? But we want to just give a little more flavor to this casserole. So yeah, we're going to dollop a little bit of our butter here. Butter always goes good on corn. That's kind of how you remember to know what do you put on which layer. That's so good. And all these juices are going to just marry so well together. Okay, we got the corn. I didn't put a little salt and pepper. You know what? I'm going to just add a little bit of salt. I'm going to add another little bit element of pepper too on this layer because it really doesn't hurt to kind of keep layering the flavors. Now I've got my green beans. This is really being built up, isn't it? Look at this. And this is just a 2-quart casserole. This looks like an awful lot of beans. And you know what? If he screams, give him beans, well, I think we got a little too many beans here. We're going to just do the opposite, and we're not going to use that whole big bag. You can just do as much or as little as you want. And then to the beans, yep, you got it. Salt and pepper. And I'll tell you what, beans, for some reason, it needs an awful lot of salt. It looks like I'm putting a lot, but I'm really not. We're just dousing a little bit salt and pepper. And our final layer is fresh. And get the nice beef steak or, I forgot what these are called, but they're the round. They're the nice tomatoes on the vine. Yes, that's what these are. I just remembered it. See that? Look at that. 2 tomatoes. Beautiful. And what are we going to put on the tomatoes, guys? Yeah, we're going to put a little salt. Not going to put pepper, but just a wee bit more of salt. And then we top our final layer with oregano. And again, I like to crush and activate those herbs. And that's the only other spice you use. It's just oregano. And that nutmeg, which really makes it so delicious. It gives it that little Mediterranean flair. And then, of course, our Pecorino Romano. If you don't like Pecorino Romano, well, use whatever you like. You like the Parmesan? Use the Parmesan. There. Oh, and I'll tell you what, when you cook this, we're going to cover it. And then when it's done and you scoop into this casserole, the taste is phenomenal. So, there it is. We are going to cover it. 2-quart casserole. I bet you didn't think it fit in there, did you? Well, it did. I wasn't quite sure either. So, we're going to stick it in my preheated 375-degree oven. I don't know why I'm using pot holders. It's not hot yet. And we're going to let her bake in there for probably 45 minutes. We'll let you know real soon. Well, we've baked our 5-layer casserole covered in our oven for 45 minutes. And then what I did is I took the cover off for another 10 minutes. And you could just hear it boiling. And so then what I did is I let it rest in this casserole for about 10 minutes. And now I'm just going to scoop out just a little bit right there. That smells wonderful. Look at the steam. I'm going to try to take a bite for you. Let's see if I can get, we want to get a little bit of everything in our bite. A little bit of meat. I can just barely smell the nutmeg, which means no one's going to ever know I put nutmeg in it. I got a little tomato on there, hanging on there, a little bit of corn, a little bit of potato, a little bit of meat. Oh, it's delicious. It's not even too salty. Could have used a little bit more nutmeg. It's delicious. So come and try this very easy. It kind of looks like a hobo stew. We call it 5-layer dinner in our household. And if you'd like the recipe, find it on my website at memorableFoodDishes.com and enjoy a relaxing meal with your family.